Hey everybody, Blaine Austin here at Sewing Machines Plus, and welcome to our Thursday live show. Guys, we've got a great show for you today, and it's all about Baby Lock. We got Baby Lock in the house, and we have 8 machines that we're going to talk about today. And I know it's a lot, so our show may go close to 2 hours today, so just be prepared. But we have some great guests on today. We have Deb Donovan's going to be here. We got Carly Bell here today. We got Melinda Stevenson. We have Melinda, is it Bigsby?
Bigley.
Is it what?
Bigley.
Bigley, yeah, Bigley. Yes. And we have all 4 of them here today. And we've got 8 machines. And these 8 machines that we're going to talk about today, they've been around for a little while, but Baby Lock has never allowed us to sell them online. Now, starting this past Monday, we could sell them online, ship them nationwide. So we're going to talk about those today. And we do have some call-in specials on all of them. And so it's going to be pretty cool. And we got a lot of stuff to go over. So we're not going to waste a whole lot of time today on too much. But if you want to call into the show and talk to me today, we are going to put that number up and let you call in. And we're going to probably do the call-in session toward the end of the show. And what we'd like to do, if you wanted to talk, to us, that number is 760-278-1440 if you want to call in. And the way we're going to do it is if you have something, if you've got one of these machines that we're talking about today and you want to talk about it and tell us how you like it, give us a call. Or if you just have questions about one of them, be sure to give us a call. You'll call in, we'll get your number, and then we'll basically call you back. We're probably going to be limited on how many we can talk to today, but if you want to try to get in the list, go ahead and give us a call to that number. You'll leave a voicemail. And we'll be able to retrieve that voicemail and call you back. So that's kind of how it's going to work. I see Zena says, hello, Blaine from Florida. So how's things in Florida?
Janice says you look good today.
Janice?
I said the same thing.
Well, thank you, Janice. Thank you, Janice. I feel good today. As y'all know, probably about, I guess it was, close to around Christmas, I got sick. And I got that upper respiratory stuff where you get it in your lungs and cough and all that stuff. I've still got a little bit of a cough, but it's taken me about 3 weeks to get over it. So I'm feeling a lot better now. So it's been pretty good. So I feel great today. I am so excited you are here. And again, we're going to give some things away today on the show. So if you want to win, make sure you like, share, and comment. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, go subscribe right now. And if you haven't liked our Facebook page, go like the Facebook page. Those will actually, doing those things will help you win. And naturally today, if you get on the chat and you ask any questions, make comments on the chat, that'll enter you to win. And all those things that you do will actually help your chances. So we will give some things away this afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun. And anyway, before we get too deep into this, Kennedy and Kyle, y'all say good morning to them. We don't have a camera on Kennedy and Kyle this morning. Roger's got our camera. He's over there at the San Marcos classroom this morning with Deb. And so we're going to go to them first. But first up this morning, we got Carly Bell coming in. And we all love Carly Bell. She's going to be talking about the machine with Baby Lock that we're going to be able to sell online. And she doesn't have the Meridian. She has the Altair, which is the combination machine. But the Meridian is basically the same embroidery feature. So she's going to talk a little bit about that this morning and all that. But we have Mary Daniel over in South Carolina watching this morning. So good morning, Mary. We have Ann Philback in Virginia. And so good morning, Ann. We have Ginger Israel, our buddy out here in San Diego, is watching this morning. We have Sharon Bingham in Kansas watching. Joyce Pfeiffer, that's our buddy up in Michigan. She's watching this morning. Angela Ball in Michigan. So y'all, good morning to everybody. Hey, I see Carolyn Barty is watching. Says hi, Kennedy and Kyle. Morning. And so she's one of our good friends as well. So guys, we are so excited that you are here. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Got some dates I want to tell you. And there's Barbara Donaldson. She goes, I have the Altair. Well, Barbara, you know how awesome that machine is. And, it's such a great machine. And, and the great thing about the Altair too, the Altair and the Meridian are kind of like, big brother and little sister. The Meridian is embroidery only, and the Altair is a combination machine. And those two machines with the built-in features they have, for the price point you're getting a lot of technology in those two machines with not having to pay, those big, high, top-of-the-line prices. So they are so good, and I really like them. And what I like too about them, you use your phone to take pictures and just transfer the images to the machine and can digitize it. So there's so many great features about that. And I know Carly's probably going to talk about that this morning as well. We have Jana Witten is from California. So she says, hi from California. So hi, good morning, Jana. And I know there's a ton of the SMP Nation watching this morning. So we're so happy you're watching. And guys, did we bring by chance the new mat? We didn't bring it, did we?
No, we didn't bring it.
I was going to bring it this morning. I forgot. We got our new sew mat that was a request from y'all. And our new sewing mat is the leopard print. So right now, if you are interested in getting one of the leopard print mats, we're getting ready to put it for pre-order. And we've already got them ordered. They're being in production right now. But if you're interested in getting one, put a number 1 in the chat right now. We're going to kind of get to see a gauge of how many of y'all would love to get the leopard print. And I think
limited.
Yeah, it's going to be limited. We got 50 of each size coming in. We got 50 of the large, 50 of the medium. And I think, Kennedy, didn't you put a little sneak picture on the Facebook
you guys
group?
Can go look on our Facebook page. But I have to tell you, I think the person that's most excited is Laura Cook.
Yeah, Laura Cook, our customer service manager, wears leopard print almost every single day with something.
Every single day.
Even her desk mat that she had at her desk was leopard print.
But as soon as we got in the sample, she swapped it.
Yeah,
she's loyal.
She's got a sewing mat sample on there now of leopard print. So it's pretty funny.
We'll have to take a video of what the customer service area looks like because they all have one.
Yeah,
they all have a leopard.
We had to kind of distribute the samples to a lot of the customer service reps over there. So this cougar wants one. That's Linda Brooks. Linda, that is so funny. That is so funny, Linda. She goes, the cougar wants one. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we're going to have those. So, put a number 1 in the chat. We'll get to see how many of y'all are really interested in one of the leopard print mats. They came out fantastic. Kennedy, I have to give Kennedy some credit. She did the design on it. I kind of architected it, and she did the design, and it turned out pretty good, and we really like it. And
we got a lot of ones, Blaine.
We got a lot of ones. We may have to order more mats.
We might. I don't know. You guys, we were kind of 50-50 on it because we were like, I don't know, we'll see. Because usually our solids, everybody loves our solids.
Yes.
But the reaction that we've gotten, I'm excited.
Yeah. Kim Wolf this morning says, good morning, SMP Nation. So good morning to you, Kim. A couple dates I want to let y'all know about. So guys, next is going to be the big show, Fabric Palooza. Coming down the house. Guys, y'all got to come to this. This is going to be awesome. As of right now, we have 80 different types of fabric that we're going to have. And you can purchase it in 1 yard or 3 yard increments. And we're going to make it extremely easy. And you never know, we might be able to even get more. We have more fabric, but you got to realize how much work it takes to even get this stuff done. We have to cut it, package it, put SKUs on each one, and then we also have to take pictures of it and put it on the website so you can purchase it. So a lot of work behind the scenes that Kyle and his team has been doing, and even the stores, the retail stores, down in the San Diego store with Rena and her crew, and then up in the San Marcos store with Corey and his crew. They all been cutting fabric and trying to get this all ready for us. So it's going to be a fun time next Thursday. And again, just you'll have to stand by and watch it. We're going to try to have overhead shots of it so you can see the fabric really well. We're going to have numbers. They'll be numbered 1, 2, and 3 like that. So we can just say, here's this type of fabric. It's number 2. And that way you can find it to put it in your cart. It's going to be real easy.
Kim N said she's taking the day off for Fabric Palooza.
We might need to take the day off after Fabric Palooza.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so we hope that y'all will tune in and load up on fabric because we're going to have some of this fabric, it's up to 70% off. So we have got some fantastic prices on this. So, and this is not cheap fabrics, guys. This is not that cheap stuff you can get at other places. I'm not going to mention names, but this is very good fabric, very well-known brands. And that's, and I think you're going to really be excited about it. It's So we're going to have a lot of fun. And what's so funny, they've been cutting this up in the stores, and they've been selling some as they've been cutting it. So they were thinking, well, we're never going to get it enough for y'all to show because everybody keeps buying it in the retail stores. But
some of the stuff we've been taking pictures to get on the website, I'm like, I kind of want that.
Yeah.
Kyle had some out. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, they've been working pretty hard on it. So, all right, guys, let's get the show. The dates I was going to tell you.
Yes.
Next Thursday is the Fabric Palooza. So that's the 26th of January. Don't forget that. And then I got the huge announcement to make. Y'all ready? Drum roll. Guess what it is? Quilt Fest. Everybody.
Yay!
Quilt Fest for 2023. We have the dates. The dates are March 13th through the 17th. So you want to mark that calendar down. And guys, again, we're going to have a contest. You can make a quilt and enter it in for the contest we're going to do for the quilt contest. And there's basically 2 categories that we're going to have. And so we're going to have all that information. We're going to try to get that up extremely early this year and get that going. But make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our Facebook. We'll give you updates. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter from SMP or SewingMachinesPlus.com, go subscribe right on our webpage to the newsletter. Roger sends out emails every week, and we'll put that kind of information in there too. But so Quilt Fest is officially in the books March 13th through the 17th. And guys, we have already got a huge lineup of vendors that are going to be on the show with a lot of products. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we got the contest. And again, we're going to have a big amount of giveaways. We're probably going to have $100,000 worth of gift products that we're giving away for Quilt Fest. So it's going to be huge this year. So you don't want to miss it. Tell all your friends and people that you like to sew with, and to make sure they join in. And we're going to have some really good guests. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, it is officially in the books. All right, guys, let's get the show rolling today. This is all about Baby Lock. This is the Baby Lock Showcase. The first thing we're going to talk about this morning is the Meridian, and is that embroidery only. And we have the world famous Carly Bell in the house. Carly's over in Louisiana. So good morning, Carly. So happy you're here this morning.
She is muted.
Uh-oh, she's muted.
On StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Your StreamYard.
Yeah, her StreamYard is muted.
Sorry, I muted myself.
There she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am awesome. So one thing I got to talk about before we get too deep into talking about the Meridian is we announced it that Carly is going to be doing new owner classes for us, and we're getting ready to launch that. So guys, here's how it works. If you buy a Brother, a Baby Lock 6 needle, if you buy a Brother, Baby Lock Alliance or Persona, if you buy a Altair or a Meridian, or if you buy the Baby Lock, the Brother version is the XJ1 Stellaire series and the XE1 Stellaire series, you will get a new owner's class with Carly Bell, and we're going to be doing those monthly. And so when you purchase that, you automatically get your new owner class, and it's basically 2 days, a Tuesday and a Thursday, 3 hours of instruction each day. It's going to be fantastic, Carly. We're super excited about it.
I know. I'm so excited to teach the classes. I've been loving playing with my machines and doing tutorials, but it'll be nice to dive in deep and show people all the amazing things that these machines can do.
All right, Carla, we're going to let you talk a little bit about that Meridian this morning, the embroidery features, and I'll see you back in here about 15 minutes.
All right, sounds good. So I hope everyone is having a great morning. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about all the wonderful features on the Meridian. So like Blaine said, I have the combination machine, the Altair, but all of the embroidery features on my Altair are the same exact things that are on the Meridian. And first and foremost, the most amazing thing about the embroidery on the Meridian is the hoop size. This thing has a bigger hoop than my 6 needle machine. It's humongous, and I'm going to show you. And I don't know if the video is going to translate, but this is the hoop. It is huge. It is 9.5 by 14 inches. So this is bigger than my 6 needle machine, which is crazy. So that I think is one of the, to me, when I'm buying an embroidery machine, I'm looking at hoop size. And so this is the best selling feature, I think, of this machine is, I mean, this is bigger than my whole lower body. So things that you can make in giant hoops like this. The first thing that comes to mind for me is quilting. So I recently got into the world of using my embroidery machine to quilt. And you can use edge-to-edge quilting designs. And having this large of a hoop size means that you can quilt an entire, full queen, even king size quilt so much easier than you can if you are working with a smaller hoop, because you have such a bigger field to embroider. So let's keep going on with the hoops. The machine comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 different size hoops. So I have the 9.5 by 14, humongous. Then this is a great size. This is a square 9.5 by 9.5. This is perfect for making quilt blocks. The 8. So I've been doing a lot of, the finished size is 8-inch quilt blocks, but stitching wise, it's 8.5 inches. So this gives me that extra area to stitch the cut lines on the sewing lines on the quilt block. So having this giant 9.5 by 9.5 is super useful, especially when it comes to quilting. Then I also have the 5 by 7 and the 4 by 4. I can't remember if I got a smaller one as well, but I want to say that's all. Now, another awesome feature about these very nice hoops that come with the machine is, if you notice, they have these markings here, right? This is special to use with a program that comes with the machine, and then an app you download to your phone or your iPad that is called IQ Designer. And with that, you can hoop something. Okay, so say we hoop it. We then can take a picture, having the app open on our phone, and take a picture, and it's going to pick up the registration marks on the hoop so that you can visualize your stitching on the item or the fabric that you are embroidering on. So all of that really helps with placement and visualizing. And also, sometimes you have a patterned fabric and you really want to see where within that pattern will your design look the best. So all of that is super helpful, having the hoops with the registration marks and then IQ Designer on top of that. So that is all about the hoops. Now let's jump over to the machine real quick so you can get a look at it. It's very sunny outside, so I apologize if the screen is a little bit white, but yes, so Melanie says it's super huge. I love it. So yes, that is the best, in my opinion, the best feature about this machine. Next, it has a ginormous, beautiful, colorful screen. So I went from having a old Brother machine that had a little 2 by 3 inch screen that was black and white, grayscale, and I could not tell anything that was going on that machine as far as what my design even looked like. It was hard to even find the design that I wanted to upload when I put my USB stick in, much less the designs that came on the machine. With this, this is as large as an iPad pretty much, and it's touch, and oops, I can't have the frame on when it opens. So let me take that off. Okay. You can see everything so clearly. So as I said, this is the Altair. So I have that sewing option. So yours will have the Meridian and we'll just have the embroidery and IQ Designer. So just to give you some idea with embroidery, there are so many preloaded embroidery designs on this machine that you have, if you are just getting into embroidery and haven't collected any over time yet, you have so much to start with. So for example, beautiful flowers if you can see some of those. Lots of different flowers. They have a cute little gnome and 21 designs just right there. Then if we go back, we have emojis. Look how cute. They have fishing, home accent, needlecraft, Western, novelty, kids corner, explore, and so on. There's so much that you can do there. Then on top of that, we have a few designs here, and then lots of fonts. We have 20, 71, no, 20 different fonts that this machine can stitch out. And that's just regular fonts. And then we also have 5 beautiful monogram fonts. So a lot to start with as far as designs and fonts go. And the machine is so large that you can go and pick a design. So say, let me go to the kids corner. Let me get a cute little unicorn. Okay, and I have that unicorn there, and I want to add my kid's name underneath. The screen is so big and easy to maneuver that I can add that unicorn and then go to add and then pick a cute font for my kid to write their name underneath. And then just pick that and put it underneath. And now you have a shirt, a onesie, a towel, something easy and ready to go, and you can embroider. And that was all done just on the machine itself, on the screen itself. So the other thing I want to talk to you about, I think I still have a few more minutes, is, so that is with all the preloaded designs, all the preloaded fonts. Okay. Then you go into IQ Designer, and I am so amazed at what this program can do. And we're going to dive deeper into this when we do the owners classes, but there are some great things that you can do where you can add, let me pull from my memory. You can add, so say we start with the unicorn design. Say we're making a kid's quilt. We can open up, if we wanted that same unicorn, and then add, customize quilting or stipling around it and make a quilt block with that unicorn. Or if you wanted to add some lettering or wording with it, IQ Designer is going to allow you to add that customized quilting that goes perfectly around the design. And then you can make some really cool custom quilt blocks. And they have lots of different options for the different patterns that can go around the quilt block. And I'm trying to remember. Okay, so this is an example I did. So I had a cute rocking around the Christmas tree design, and it took a perfect outline of it, like a what I call an offset. And then I can go and fill in the area around it with, I'm trying to remember how I got to my, no. Okay, excuse me. I have to brush up my memory on how I got my stippling around it. But they have lots of different really pretty designs that can go around the design of your choice, whether it be something that's on the machine already or uploaded, so something that you purchased online or even you made yourself, and then you can turn that into a custom quilt block using the IQ Designer and fill in the area around the design with the custom quilting. So those, I think, are the biggest features of the machine. You get, let me come back over here. So you're getting huge hoops and the hoops with the registration marks so that you can get perfect placement using the IQ Designer app on either your phone or your iPad. And then the machine itself comes with tons of beautiful embroidery designs, embroidery fonts, and the IQ Designer software is so powerful and exciting with the amount of things that it can do with forming custom quilt blocks or custom stitching. So I think that was everything I wanted to go over. Blaine, was there anything that I forgot? Let me know.
Hey, Carly, I don't think you forgot too much at all, because that, we could probably spend a couple hours on all the features of the embroidery side of it. And then if we went into the sewing side on that Altair,
Yes.
we could spend all day. So there's so many things, but I think you did a great job of highlighting some of the great features of the Meridian. Because again, the Meridian, the Altair, the embroidery side of it is exactly the same. The Altair just has that sewing side of it. So have you got to use the 9.5 by 14 hoop to its potential yet?
I am intimidated by this hoop because it is so big, but I'm using it now because I am stitching a Kimberbell quilt and the spring showers quilt they came out with last year. And each block is 6.5 by 6.5. So I'm able to fit 2 blocks in this hoop. So I'm going to be using this to stitch out my quilt blocks for that and try to get the most out of my stabilizer, fit as much in as I can.
That's awesome. Well, I know that thing, if somebody wanted to do a quilt, you could do your quilt blocks very easily by using that hoop. And then the other thing, if you could do a whole back of a jacket extremely easy with that, the size of that hoop it's amazing. Well, Carly, thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing your thoughts on the Meridian. And again, I think we're gonna have you on a Takeover Tuesday. We're gonna talk all about some of the new owner classes, and we're gonna get that scheduled, everybody, as soon as possible. We're gonna have it on our website. In the products, it'll show you on the product page which machines that you'll get that new owners class, and it's gonna be awesome with Carly teaching it. That's for sure.
All right, thanks, Blaine.
Thank you, Carly. All right, guys, there you had it. That was she talked all about the embroidery side. Now, again, she has the Altair right there. Now, that Altair, guys, is $89.99. It has the embroidery and the sewing side, so it's a combo machine. But this is the Meridian on the screen that you're seeing right now. That is the Meridian. And, guys, we have a price on it of $64.99. We do have call-in specials on both of those machines today, the Altair and the Meridian. So just give us a call. Now, the Altair, we've been selling it online for a while, but the Meridian is brand new. That we can sell it online, embroidery only. If you've got a great sewing machine at home right now and you just want to get a top of the line type embroidery machine, guys, this is going to fit your bill. This thing is so awesome. 9.5 by 14 hoop size, has that huge LCD display on it that you can look at all your designs. And again, it's got loaded with features and designs in it. If you want to take a look at the product page, just go to smplive.tv. You'll see that Meridian. You just click on it. It'll take you to the product page, and you can read all about it. If you have questions, give us a call at 800-401-8151. That rings right into the call center, and Nick and his team are all standing by over there today to take your calls. But again, a fantastic machine from Baby Lock. We're so excited that we can sell this online now, and we can ship it nationwide right to your doorstep. And guys, we do have some financing available for you as well today if you need to finance it. But again, great machine. And so we're going to move right along, guys. We're going to keep this thing rolling because we got a lot of machines to cover. We have 2 machines coming up next. Now is the Lyric and the Air. Is it the Ariel?
Yes.
Yeah, Lyric and Ariel. And Deb is going to talk about those today. Now, the first one she's going to talk about is that Lyric. And again, guys, you may have one of those machines already out there, but now we can sell these online, ship it nationwide. So if you didn't have a Baby Lock dealer even close to you, now you're going to have that available to be able to purchase. And again, guys, we have some call-in specials on it. So let's go over to the San Marcos classroom and see Roger and Deb. So good morning, gang.
Morning, Blaine. How are you this morning?
I am awesome, and I know you're having a good morning because you're getting to play on 2 awesome machines.
We're getting ready for inventory right now. So yes, I am very happy to be playing with machines and not boxes this morning.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So, hey, Deb, I know we're going to start out with this lyric this morning. So what I thought we would do is if you want to just go about 15 minutes, you can talk all about that and show some demo stuff. I'll come back and tell them how they can get it, and then we'll give you time to do the switch over, and then we'll talk about the aerial after that.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right. So the Baby Lock Lyric is a machine that's been out for quite a few years now. Not that it's old, but I think we've had it in the store for about 5 years now. It's just only now becoming available to sell online. So I have a lot of history with this machine, and it is rock solid. This is one of my favorite machines. It's great if you've got a big machine like that Altair to have something like this that's smaller that you can take to classes and to sewing groups, but it's also a great move up machine if you've gotten one of those mass merchant machines and you've outgrown it. If you get into a Lyric, then you're not going to outgrow this one for quite a while. So let me just go you through a few of the basic things that are my favorites on this machine. I feel like I'm speed dating today, so I don't have a whole lot of time to dive into anything. But the Lyric has 250 stitches on it, which are all up there. What the things that's really great about the Lyric is the needle threader. It has what they call an advanced needle threader. I'm going to tell you, it's the second best needle threader in my opinion. I've already gotten the machine pre-threaded. And if I grab down to the needle bar and to thread it the rest of the way, I'm just going to go through the little numbered sections at 6, 7, and 8 and thread the needle. I can do it without looking at it. I can do it without having to see the eye of the needle. It just goes every time. It doesn't care how tense I am. I absolutely love that feature on this machine. I've got kind of something similar on the bobbin case where I don't have to worry about how long things are. I've got an easy set bobbin, put it in there, cut the thread. It is exactly the length that the machine wants it to be. And the reason that I'm talking to you about it is because I'm right here by the feed dogs. These feed dogs on the Lyric are longer than normal on a lot of machines. Longer feed dogs and a longer foot to go with that is going to give you better feeding power on the Lyric than you're going to have on some other machines, especially if you're moving up. You are really going to see the difference in how this is going to piece for you and quilt for you. And even hem your jeans for you because it can handle all of that. Let me put my foot back on real quick here. There we go. All of the usual suspects up here for the buttons, but let me talk to you. Actually, let me talk to you about one thing first. The Lyric comes with an extension table. So right now I have the accessory tray on. If you need to hem your jeans, you can take that accessory tray off. And now you can do in the circle, anything that's a circle, and it doesn't have to be hemming jeans. It's also if you're working on bags or anything else that's not flat, having a smaller space and the ability to wrap around it, it makes a big difference to you. Now the Lyric also comes with the included extension table. So I've got 8.3 inches to the right of the needle. I have an extension table that is 20 inches long that I can slide right on there. The feet, by the way, are attached. So that's one less thing that I can lose in my sewing room. And it's just going to slide right into place. And now I have at least double the size of my workspace right there. And it comes included with it. You might have noticed that I pulled the knee lift off as I was getting the extension table out. The knee lift is included. They gave you someplace to store it in the back of the table. So when you're not using it, you're not going to lose it. And it's actually going to fit into this hole right here. If you're not familiar with a knee lift, what it will let me do is raise and lower the presser foot while keeping both hands on the fabric. You just take your leg, push it to the right, and it will engage and raise the presser foot for you. The angle I have myself at right now, I can't get it to attach, but it slides right in there. And then you just you take your right knee and move it over, and your presser foot comes up. 2 hands on the fabric for me is always a good thing because I have more control than I do in other ways. So, all right. So now let's talk screen for just a minute. This is a little screen compared to some machines, but it has on it everything that I need it to have. So I've got 250 stitches on here, which is a whole lot. But the 10 most common stitches that we're going to use are right here on these numbers right here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are versions of straight stitches. I've got zigzags on there. I have the stretch zigzag, a blind hem, and a triple zigzag that are all right here on these numbers. So those are the ones you're going to use the most often. And then to get to the rest of them, I've got 4 buttons right here to the left that I can choose from. And these 4 buttons combined with the 2-digit code that's on the lid is going to get me through to the other 244 stitches and 10 alphabets. No, sorry, 5 alphabets. I don't know what I'm thinking. There are 5 alphabets on this machine, and there's 10 stitches here, but 250 stitches in total. So 250 stitches, and 10 of them are on shortcuts, and you have 5 full fonts on there. I'm going to be honest with you though, one of them is Greek and one of them is, or one of them's Russian and one of them's Japanese. So you really have 3 fonts that you're probably going to use most of the time on there, but they are all 3 good fonts. If you want to do quilt labels and that kind of thing with them, they work really well. So that's going to be what's right up here in the corner. It's telling me, it's helping me. This screen helps me be better. So right now it's recommending that I have the J foot on there. Every foot has a letter on it from the Baby Lock line, and those letters are consistent across all machines. So your J foot is your regular zigzag foot, and you can have that on there. It's going to give you a recommendation, so you'll know based on the stitch that you have chosen what foot the machine thinks is the best for you. Shows me a preview of the stitch right there. And then right down here, I have my width and my length and my tension. This is the first machine in the Baby Lock line that's going to give me automatic tensions. Automatic, every other machine below this is going to have a dial where you have to adjust. And if you've ever gone in and switched from a straight stitch to a satin stitch and forgotten to adjust your tension, you know that you turn it over and it's a crapshoot as to whether it looks okay on the back or not. But the Lyric has automatic tensions on it. So if I go into one of the decorative stitch categories and pick, oops, that's not, no, that'll work. I meant to pick a heart. And pick a satin stitch, my tension changed from 4.0 to 3.6. I didn't have to get out the book and look at it. I didn't have to remember that I needed to check it. The machine just automatically made that change for me. I might still have to tweak it, but it's going to be pretty good right there because that's what that stitch is engineered to have with the tension, and the machine's going to automatically do that when I go and switch my stitches around. Let me go real quick back to the main stitch again. So right now I'm in the leaf category. I'm going to come back up here to the number category, the number pad category. It's going to ask me if I'm okay, and I'm going to say I am okay to change it. And it put me on stitch number 3, which is my centered straight stitch, which is a perfect place for me to be right now. So really phenomenal machine. It's got all sorts of capabilities built into it, including the ability to save your favorite stitches in memory. I'm a quilter. I like to do blanket stitch applique. I like to customize my stitches to how I like them. How I like the stitch isn't always how the Japanese engineers designed that stitch to be. So I really like being able to customize the stitch, save it in memory. And then when I come back later, whether it's later that day or I've turned the machine off and come back the next day, I can retrieve that stitch setup from the memory on the machine. So I don't have to remember to write it down and put it on a Post-it note. I don't have to try and match it up the next day. I can pull those settings out of the machine's memory, and I will always know that this is my favorite version of the blanket stitch when I pull it out. I don't have to stitch it out and go, no, that's not quite right. I know it's right because I pulled it out of memory, and it saves me from having to figure that same setting out time and time again. So these are in black right now. They're kind of black with white highlights because they are the default settings. You can tell when you've changed something. So I can tell right here that that stitch is not on default. Let me change all of them. So none of them, I have customized them all now. But if there's a magic button that I can hit that will take them. Oops, I saved it in memory. That's not what I meant to do. It'll take them all back to default. So you can change anything you want to. You can put it in memory. And if you decided that's not right, then you can, with one press of a button, bring them all back to the factory resets. I'll do this a lot if I'm alternating back and forth between a long stitch length and a short stitch length, because it's just going to make it a whole lot easier for me to not have to press those buttons all of the time. In these 250 stitches is something that I think is really amazing that I don't think enough people will know about. Although my daughter, was a Girl Scout back in the day, but anybody who's had to put on badges or patches for somebody knows how difficult it can be. You're dealing with a garment, right? It's got sleeves, it's got a collar, it's got a placket on it, and you are trying to sew this rectangular patch onto it. So what you have to do is put it under there, sew a straight line, turn the whole thing 90 degrees, sew another piece of it, and you just have to keep turning it because your machine goes in a straight line from front to back. The lyric doesn't always have to go. Okay. I've got the edge of the table hanging off the edge of the table right here. So let me I thought I was going to be okay, but I leaned on it once too often. Okay, now we're back. So this machine will sew sideways for me. And this is something that I kind of thought was a little bit gimmicky when it came out, but there really is valid uses for it. So if I come in here, Roger's going to come in close. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to sew forward for a minute. And oops, I'm in the wrong spot. Hold on. I actually need to start with a left stitch. So I'm going to start with stitch 2 with the needle over to the left. That's just something that I learned I have to do. So I just did a straight line. And now I am going to switch my stitch to the stitch that it tells me up there, which is not 4. I want 94. 94. Nine, 4, 4. Yahoo! Okay, here we go. So you can see that the stitch looks a little bit different on here. It's still recommending, well, it's actually recommending the end foot for me right now, but I am not going to switch it over. The end foot is actually the monogramming foot, which it recommends for a lot of decorative stitches. But if Roger's going to come right back here, then if I press the start button, it's sewing sideways. So if you have to put a name tag, a badge on anything, then you don't have to sit there and rotate that garment and try and get it all turned around without tugging on the needle and getting a little bit out of place. I can then go to stitch 92 and it will sew backwards for me. And then stitch 93. Oh, come on, give me 93. 93, 3. Is going to sew back in the other direction. So I just did this on a plain piece of denim, but patches, badges, anything like that, it's really good for. And as a quilter, I will tell you the other thing it's really good for is if your seams don't line up. If you're doing stitch in the ditch quilting and you have a seam that didn't line up and it's offset by a little bit, you don't have to fuss around with it. You don't have to lift up the needle, lift up the foot, slide the whole thing, put it all back down again and hope you're in the right spot. And you also don't have to try and aim for the next line and end up with a little diagonal on there. you can really quickly and easily take a couple little side steps, a little jog to the left, so that you can stay in that ditch. Because if you can stay in the ditch, then really probably nobody but you is ever going to notice that you were that, 2 millimeters off in getting those lined up by the time it was all pressed and put together. So I really love it for that, because I like to cut corners on there. So that's one of my favorite things that's on this machine. I love the needle threader. I love a lot of things about it. I love the automatic tensions. I love that it will sew sideways for me, and it will save my customizations in memory. The Lyric really has a lot of bang for your buck. It's got a lot of my things that I consider gotta haves on a machine before getting into the, oh wow, I want that too. These are the basic things that I need to have on a machine, and they're all right here on the Lyric for me. So Blaine, I'm going to pass it back to you so I can swap machines around.
All right, Deb, thank you so much. That was a great demonstration. I know we're going to come back with her and show you the other machine. But hey, guys, the Lyric, what a great machine to have. And again, if you're wanting a sewing quilting machine, what a fantastic machine. And Deb, that was some great features, the sideways sewing, talking about how you can do patches and things. But guys, we have a fantastic price on this. The Lyric is $19.99. We do have a call-in special for it, so you have to give us a call right now at 800-401-8151. If that's something that you think you would want one of those and love it, that is a great pickup today. We have a great price on it, so give us a call right now at 800-401-8151 and to get yours. And if you just want to take a look at it, you can just go to smplive.tv, and at the top you'll see the machines all listed out there. You'll just scroll till you see that machine, but just click on that machine. It'll take you right to the product page. You can read about all the features that it has and all the things that come with it. And again, it has that extension table. You have your knee lifter that's attached to it. So it got a lot of features and a lot of, bang for your buck on this machine, guys. And again, under $2,000. Our normal price is $19.99. Today we do have a call-in special, so you can give us a call right now at 800-401-8151. Nick's team is standing by. And if you're on the website, if you're on that product page looking at it, again, we have live chat agents on the website. They can answer your questions and help you with your purchase as well. Again, this is the Baby Lock Lyric. And so next up, we're going to go to the Baby Lock Aerial, and we're going to bring Deb back in, and she's going to talk about that. Now, this we're going to step up a little bit in price point of the machine and features. But again, this is another great offering with Baby Lock today. And now we can sell all these machines you're seeing today online and be able to ship it nationwide. So let's go back to Deb in the San Marcos classroom, and she's going to talk all about the Aerial.
Hi there. Sorry, I missed that transition. So, yep, Roger has helped me do a quick little swap here. We've put the Lyric to the back and brought the Aerial to the front. I did start with the embroidery arm on it this morning, so we're going to start with the embroidery on it. The Aerial is a combination sewing and embroidery machine, so you can swap it back and forth, and it will do either for you. And it comes with 2 hoops. It comes with the 5x7 hoop, which is in the middle here, and it also comes with an 8x12 hoop. I know that 8x12 hoop is not the biggest hoop on the market, but I find that it's plenty big for a lot of things. It can do jacket backs for me. It can do quilting in the hoop for me. I can combine designs in it. It can do a lot of good sized in the hoop projects. I'm sorry if you're hearing something in the background. We filled the dumpster due to inventory, and we're doing an emergency pickup right now because of all the cardboard we generated yesterday. But it's so 8x12 or 5x7 hoop come with it. There are other optional hoops, of course, that fit the machine, but these are the 2 that come with it. And honestly, probably the 2 that I still use most to this day. The 5x7 is definitely my most used hoop out of all of them. I've got the little screensaver on right now, so let's wake her up. It's just saying hello. Does it every time you turn it on. And I've got 3 options here on my screen. I am going to drop down into embroidery edit. Embroidery, you have embroidery and embroidery edit. Embroidery edit is where you get to have all of the fun with the machine. I have over 250 built-in embroidery designs. Plus, with USBs, you can bring in anything else as long as it will fit in that 8x12 hoop. And if I go into here, they've got all the fun categories. And I'm going to pick, I guess I'll pick that one. So, no, I like this one better. It's a little bit smaller. So it's a little bit of a delicate design. It's not really, it might not be showing up perfectly on your screen, but it's something that's got a shorter stitch count on it, and it's a smaller design. So I'm still previewing. I can preview all the designs that are there, and plus anything I bring on a USB stick. Once I'm happy with it, I can set it. This is a bigger screen than I've had on the Lyric, but it's plenty big, and it's plenty big for what I need it to do right here, because it gives me all the information that I need to have. It's going to tell me how big the design is. It's 4 by 4.5. It is going to tell me what hoop sizes it fits in. Once you learn how to read this kind of little thing right here, it will tell you that it will fit in a 5 by 7 or larger hoop. So you can very easily tell if you have the right hoop for the job. So I only have one design on, so the design and the overall size are the same thing. It's currently exactly in the center of the hoop, and it's not rotated at all. So that's everything that I need to know about that design that's highlighted. I can add other designs in. So I'm going to go in and add a little bit of text. That I can tell just by looking at it, it's going to be too big for what I want. So let me size him down just a little bit. Go in. I forget how many fonts are on this machine, but it's quite a few. You saw that screen over there. So I've got my spring that I just typed in, and I'm going to set that. And I can move it wherever I want to on the screen. But what I would like to do with it right now, and it's got the red boxes around it, I would like to go in and kind of put it on a curve. So I can put that on a little curve for myself. Make that curve a little bit different. Change the curve. And then I have cold hands, and this machine does not like cold hands. So I can move it down, and then I can rotate it a little bit. Rotate to get it exactly where I want it, visually rotated. And then I can nudge it around either on the screen with my fingers, or I can use these quick move buttons to get it exactly where I want it to be on the screen. It's as easy as that. And now I can see that my entire design is now bigger because I've added the word spring. The word spring is highlighted, and the word spring is about 2.5 by 1/2 of an inch. So everything that I need to know for the entire design, as well as for each individual component, is right here on the screen for me, including how long it's going to stitch out and how many thread changes there are in this design. If that's not big enough for me to see, I have a zoom button, but it's always nice to see it in the hoop, so you have an idea of what it's going to look like in the 8 by 12 hoop, and there it is in the 5 by 7 hoop. So you can get a sense for how well it's going to fit in the hoop that you wanted to put it in. Personally, I always use the smallest hoop that I can for something because it's going to be more stable than using a bigger hoop. But you can take a quick peek at it right there. When you are done, you can close it all out and go back to where you were. So let me just delete these both out right here, because I already had cheated and loaded into the machine's memory something else so that I wouldn't have to find it. So I've got this one in here. It's going to take 6 minutes to stitch out. If I go over to embroidery, I still have a last chance to do editing here. I can move it, I can rotate it, make it stitch out in one color. I can do all these things, and I can do it right here on this screen. Machine's going to tell me how long it's going to take to stitch out. It's going to take 6 minutes, 4,474 stitches, 2 thread color changes. Everything I need to know is right here on the machine. It's so easy and intuitive to use. It just kind of blows my mind. So I was going to tell a story that I've told 100 times before, so I'll save that for the next time. The other thing that's really nice is that I have a basting stitch box on here. So right now, if you just kind of want to look at it, I've got a flower design and I have 2 thread colors over here. But if I wanted to put this on a tea towel or something that I didn't want to hoop, if I wanted to float it on top instead of having to put it in the hoop, then I need to make sure it's going to stay in place while I'm embroidering it. So the Ariel has built into it a basting stitch function. One click of the button, and it is going to add on that extra box that's going to be a basting stitch. It's added a 3rd color, and it added the one at the top. So it's going to put that basting stitch in there for me automatically. So I don't have to try and figure out what size to make that basting box or go load another design in and combine things to get that basting box in position where I want it. The machine, the Ariel, will just do that for me. And I really love the convenience of that. And I love that it's a proper basting stitch. It's a long stitch length, so it's very easy to take it back out again when you're finished with it. So you can just pop a couple threads and it just pulls straight out so you can move on with your day. There's a lot of phenomenal things that you can do in embroidery on here. So that's just kind of a teaser of them. Now I've got my sewing screen right here. The Ariel is a fancy enough machine that it will let me sew with the embroidery module on. I'm not going to do it right now, but I could if I really wanted to. There are 757 built-in stitches on this machine. If you can't find what you're looking for, then you haven't looked hard enough, really. They split them into 2 categories. I've got utility stitches here, and then the other second category is called character decorative stitches over here. And there are so many stitches in each category that they've given us little subdivisions right here, subdividers for what category you might want to be skipping forward and into. Look, I have the sideways sewing on the Ariel as well. But if we start up here at the beginning, then again, the screen's telling me everything that I need to know. I've got my J foot on there. That's the standard sewing foot is what it's recommending. Unfortunately, that's not what I have on right now. So I'll switch that over in a second. I've got all my stitches right here, all my controls. I have width, length. LR shift is actually, it will let me shift that stitch left to right inside my foot if I can. And there's my tension adjustment. And they are all right here on the bottom of my screen. Super easy. Oops, look what time it is. Super easy to find. And very easy to check and to view. You don't have to go into any subscreens. It's all right there on the machine for you. If I go into the character decorative stitches, then there's the other 350 odd of them are over here. But the character decorative stitches, if I go, let's go into the satin category. I like satin stitches just because they show up better for you guys on the screen. I have options down here. I can make a repeating pattern. I can stitch it out once or multiples of times. Great when you're doing words, by the way, so that you don't accidentally start to stitch out the phrase again. I can delete it, or I've got a twin needle safety on right there. But then there are more options as well. Open up. There we go. So there are so many options. They couldn't show them to you all in one screen. So we also have a mirror, a flip button, and a couple of other things. This particular one only comes in one size, so I can adjust the length of and the width of it down here. So lots of fun things that you can do to really customize these stitches for yourself. I think it's really amazing all the things that you can put together. The alphabets are very easy to use. See, there's my Greek or my Russian and my Chinese, but here is one of the regular alphabets. If you're in a class with me, you'll know that everybody does my name all the time. It's not because I'm egotistical. It's because I'm at the front of the alphabet. So there's my D, there's my E, there's my B. It's combining on to the end of that satin stitch. So I can actually go and make my very own decorative stitches and put a diamond at the end of it and put lots of decorative stitches together. So you can put entire phrases in there. You can put your name with the flower next to it. You can do a lot of things in that alphabet right there, which is really nice to have. So let me go back into regular. I have it does come with the accessory tray right here. So the accessory tray is included with the machine, and in it are lots of feet for you. It actually opens up at the back as well. It does, I promise. Boy, I don't know why they didn't want to open. It opens up at the back as well for you, so you can store a lot of your accessories in here. What I am going to do right now, though, is switch it over, take off the embroidery foot, put on the sewing foot. Kind of thought I was going to embroider. Then I realized I didn't have time. I'm going to put the foot back on because I just knocked it off. Okay, we're going to thread this machine real quick before Blaine comes in and boots me off, because I'm taking up more than my fair share of time because there's so much to show on this machine. But I have right here, the threading path is all marked on the machine, so I don't have to worry about that. I can thread it standing up from the other side of the room. And if Baby Lock has the advanced needle threader, they also have the never miss needle threader. So there we go. One button and I'm done. And it automatically threaded the machine for me. The only time this needle threader doesn't work is when I forget to press the button on it. So it works every time. It doesn't care how stressed I am. That never miss needle threader is the best thing going. I love that needle threader on everything that I have. But what I wanted to show you is these three buttons right here. This is one of those other things that makes the Ariel such a great combination machine for you. I have this button means presser foot lift. This one's for a tie off. And this one is for scissors. So if I sew right now, I'm going to sew a little straight line. Guess what happened? Nope. I think I got,
There you go.
I didn't check it. I know I cut it. I know, but you have to see this. It is like the best thing. Okay. I am threaded. I am going to sew in a straight line. And then I'm going to stop. And it just stops. I mean, it does exactly what I told it to do, which is fine. So now I can cut the thread, I can lift the presser foot, and I can take out the fabric. But if Roger wants to go back over to the screen, this guy's cutting too short. That's what's going on. I didn't notice this earlier when I tested the machine. Oh, it doesn't like it. So if Roger goes over here, I have these three buttons right there. And if you can see them, I'm going to turn them all on. And so they turn dark gold for me. Dark gold means that they're turned on. So now I'm going to come over and I'm going to sew that same seam again. Right after I... All right, so now I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to hit the start stop button. And it's sewing along for me. And I just sewed my seam. If you'll notice, it did start with a tack down stitch at the beginning, which is something I often forget to put on my own. But this is where the real magic happens. I'm going to hit the reverse button, which is right above the stop start button. And when I do that, Roger, zoom back down. It is going to tie a knot. It is going to cut the thread and raise the presser foot for me. So I don't have to do any of those things. The aerial did them all for me. And you can use combinations. You don't have to have it cut. You don't have to have it lift the presser foot. But I really love that these are all 3 different buttons that I would have to press on the machine to get it to happen. I would have to press the tie off button. I would have to press the scissors button. I would have to lift the presser foot. But the aerial will do them all for me every time I hit that button. And I think that that is just an amazing feature that it has that I personally use all the time. I think I'm about out of time though, but I'm not out of features, but I'll grab Blaine anyways and see if what he has to say. President.
Hey, Deb, I got a question for you. So I know that we talked about the Meridian this morning, and then we're talking about the aerial now, and they're exactly the same price point. What pretty much on the embroidery side, what's the difference of the features?
On the embroidery side, you've got the smaller hoop. You've got the 8x12 maximum hoop instead of the 9.5x14. And you don't have the IQ designer portion. But feature-wise, other than that, they are the same. There might be one other small change. But the biggest thing is hoop size and IQ designer.
Okay. So somebody who is looking to really up their game in embroidery probably would lean toward the Meridian with an embroidery only for the same price. But if they're looking for a great combination machine at $64.99, that thing is loaded up with features. And then you've got a lot of really cool, unique features to the aerial. So I guess it would be one of those things where you're looking for a combination machine or, that embroidery machine. But, that would save them a lot of money from buying the Altair. If the Altair is just a little out of their price range, then the good alternative would be this aerial, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It would be. And if, that's a combination machine versus an embroidery only, it's kind of a personal decision for everybody. It depends on space, depends on how you're going to use it, depends on a lot of things. And I know that when I used to be on the phones, where I started 10 years ago, I had a lot of those discussions with people about what was the right machine for them to choose and why. Is it price? Is it space? Is it features? What's the most important thing to you? And that'll help you make that choice between the Altair, the aerial, and the Meridian, and even the Pathfinder, which we're not showing today.
Yeah. All right, Deb. Well, thank you so much. Great demonstrations as usual. And again, guys, we're going to tell y'all how you can get this. This was the aerial that Deb showed, the last one. And again, guys, the price on this is $64.99. We do have a call-in special on this today. Give us a call. This thing is a great intermediate machine loaded with features. And now we can ship it nationwide, so you can buy it online. And another great offering from Baby Lock. So, guys, we're going to keep moving on the show. And again, we've got a Baby Lock educator in the house, and we have Melinda Bigley. And Melinda, welcome to the show. And again, we've got some great machines that we're going to show all day today. But Melinda's coming on, and what machine is she's doing?
She's talking about the Soprano.
The Soprano, yeah.
Yes.
Now the Soprano, y'all have probably heard of this machine before. The Soprano is a great machine. And another, from Baby Lock, it's been around for a while. And Melinda's going to show all this machine. So let's welcome Melinda to the show.
Hello, Blaine. How are you?
I am fantastic today.
Good.
Love the blue sweater. It's really standing out on the picture. And hey,
That's
I know
cool
that
idea.
we're showing some really great machines today. But this Soprano has been around for a while. Everybody loves this Soprano, and we're so happy here. So I'm gonna let you tell everybody about it, and then I'll be back in about 15 minutes. We can chat about it.
Sounds great. Thank you. So hello, everybody. Welcome. As Blaine said, I'm Melinda Bigley, and I'm a
Okay. Hey, Melinda, we lost your sound.
okay. Am I
Oh, there
back?
we go. Gotcha.
Yay!
Okay. Sorry, I don't know how that it muted itself. Okay, so I'll get the thing way away from that mute button. So to just go over it again, I'm Melinda Bigley. I'm a Baby Lock educator, and today I wanted to show you a little bit about this wonderful machine, the Soprano. The Soprano is a solely dedicated sewing machine. So you're not split between embroidery and sewing like you were just seeing a second ago with those split machines. And those are absolutely wonderful. I have a couple of those myself, but this particular machine is dedicated to sewing. So you've got a myriad.
Hey, Melinda, you went mute again for some reason. There, I think we heard you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I don't know. I just
I
saw.
don't know what's going. Let me.
Okay, it may see. I have sometimes I have problems with StreamYard. I use a different platform. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, it actually sounds even better now.
Okay, so I unplugged my second camera, and that may have been what's doing it.
Okay, yeah, it's working perfect now.
Okay, good. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Having a little technical difficulty, but what I wanted to show you was applique stuff. So what I use this machine for is several things. I use it dedicated for what you may use a lot, which is the 1/4 inch guide foot, which is used for quilting, piecing, all sorts of things. But like I said, today I wanted to show you some stitches that the machine can do for applique. And I worked this little sample out. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of different stitches that if you haven't thought of using for applique, you might want to take a look at. One of my favorites is this candle wicking stitch. Absolutely beautiful stitch. Now, I know a lot of you have used, let's see where that blanket stitch is. The blanket stitch right here is the standard use for applique, but you can do so many other stitches with the Soprano. You can do these little decorative stitches that you see here. You can do ladder stitches. And then you've got this real pretty, where did it go? This little pretty one with the leaves on it, which I think is just beautiful. And when you use those stitches, you're going to want to be able, it's when you want to be able to see that fabric underneath. Okay, so when you're doing something like a satin stitch, and understand that a satin stitch is simply a zigzag stitch, but it's close together. So you've got very short stitch length and it becomes a satin stitch. Okay, so I'm going to see how I can, because I can't use the second camera, I'm going to flip this around. And if you don't mind, I'm going to have to try to see if it will actually film what I need it to film. Okay, so I think that you're able to see that. If you're not, please let me know there in the studio. So what we're looking at is this beautiful screen right here. You've got the ability to choose from, let's go up here, from a battery, many stitches here. And it's real easy to switch between. You've got 4 different panels here. It's very easy to switch between those panels. And on the front of the machine, you'll see these icons right here. There are these little icons. This one's got the little flower or the little leaves, and this one's got like a buttonhole and a zigzag stitch. On the front of the machine, you will see, if I can get you centered on it, you'll see that you can press each of those buttons right here. And if you want to do lettering, you can do that as well. Right now, what I want to show you is the act of actually doing an applique. I've got it set for the second section of stitches. And let's see, let's change it to the blanket stitch. See how easy that is to do. So we're going to check this little button here, and that takes us to the first. And then the actual blanket stitch is 30. And as Deb said before, my hands are freezing, so it's hard to get the buttons pushed. So that is actually a little sideways zigzag stitch. What we want is 38 in this section. Okay, and that brings us to the blanket stitch. So I'm going to set you guys so that you can see how easy this is. And here's another key part. This wonderful machine comes with an end foot. Now, when you're doing decorative stitches, and I have a lot of ladies come to me and say, how do I make these decorative stitches stitch straight and stitch so that they look beautiful? This end foot has a little canal in it, and that allows, believe it or not, it's kind of like if you were to shrink down to a tiny little person and you needed to go under this, it actually makes a difference. Even though that looks like not a very big deal that there's a channel there, it really makes a difference. When you're using your decorative stitches, it allows that stitch to travel underneath the foot unimpeded. That's the word. So that is a real crucial part, number one. And here's the other thing. It allows you to see what you're doing because that's an open toe foot. So I'm just going to place my fabric right under the foot, and I can see where my needle will drop. Here's another neat thing about this machine. I can test that. I can drop my needle and it's right where I want it. Now, when I start off, I'm going to just press the pedal, and you can either do that, or if you don't have your pedal actually engaged, you can press the start stop button, and you don't even have to use your foot. And something I tell my students all the time, when you're stitching, just relax and have fun with it. This is the one place in your life where you do not have to be in a hurry and you're in control of how your machine moves. So this is the fun part of life. And honestly, it is, if you're just getting into sewing, get ready for a fun ride because it's addictive and it really does just set a wonderful balance and happiness in your life. It's a real joy-filled event. So I'm just going to run down to the edge of this fabric right here. And we'll do the entire square. All I did was place one fabric on the next fabric with a little backing that allows it to be fused with the fabric. So, okay, so here is what I wanted to show you. So this is when I take my foot off off the pedal, that needle stays down. That's actually called the pivot function, which allows me to do just this. Rather than taking my needle out and having to place my fabric, move my fabric, and then place my fabric underneath again, I don't have to do that. I can just flip my foot up, change the direction. I did that 90 degrees, and then we start off on the next little line here. So let's switch stitches. Let's go to 60 in this same, let's go 60, and that takes us to this wonderful stitch. So let's give this a shot, and I will give you a really good close-up of these stitches after they run out. And just so you guys know, you may be wondering what thread I'm using or what needle I'm using. So the thread, believe it or not, is a 40 weight embroidery thread. And I use my embroidery thread for virtually everything. The only thing that I don't use embroidery thread for is when I'm serging, which is a whole nother wonderful thing. And I know Blaine has plenty of sergers there. If you guys don't have a baby lock serger, you're going to want to get one. So let's go to the edge of this. And you can speed up your speed right here on the front if you want to go faster. I recommend not putting your speed control all the way up to the top because sometimes when you push that pedal, your foot goes all the way to the ground and your fabric takes off on you. Okay, so I want to place my needle down right at the edge there so that I get a clean stitch when I turn my fabric 90 degrees again. And now I'm going to pick a different stitch. Let's see what we want to do this time. Let's find a ladder stitch. So let's do 49. Okay, this one's fun too. And I know probably haven't seen this used for applique, but when you start playing, I think you'll really like it. What I tell people all the time, when you've got a machine that can do this much, the amount of stitches that you can do on this machine, I really highly recommend you making a stitch book. A stitch book is where you stitch out every single stitch that your machine has and you label it. That way you can see your stitches in person and it's not just a tiny little picture. on the back of your lid for your machine. When you see them in person, boy, do you get a much clearer picture of what it is that stitch looks like. And keep in mind as well, you can affect and change. Let's move this a little bit real quickly. You can change your stitch width, your stitch length, and that really does change the way in which your stitches will come out. And you can change that to however you want that to look based on the project and based on what it is you want that stitch to look like. So we're going to run this out to the end, and we've got one more line to do on this little applique. And it's truly amazing to me. I just am blown away every time I finish something that's this simple. This is just a simple block of applique. When you looked at it before it had stitches on it, it didn't look like anything. But when you finish it, it's just amazing. So let's do something else that's fun. Let's just do a regular satin stitch so you can see what you would typically do and what you can do on an embroidery machine. And if I want to, I can change the width, the length to tighten that satin stitch up. And again, a satin stitch is simply a zigzag stitch with short stitches. So here's another wonderful thing. I've got this little scissors right here is a thread cut. So if I wanted to, I could click on the thread cut, which is also over here. We've got 3 buttons right here. If you want to, you can press that button and these buttons. And what that does is it allows the foot to come up every time you stop. This little guy right here, this returns arrow, allows you to actually, when you press back stitch on the front, you can actually back stitch, and then the presser foot raises, cuts the fabric, and does a back stitch for you all in one. So you really don't have to think about it. Okay, so look at these beautiful stitches. I am just in awe of the way in which this machine responds to the simplest cues. So look at that ladder stitch. You've got your candle wicking, and the blanket stitch is absolutely, I'm looking at it again, and I tell you, I am blown away at the perfection of that stitch. And you can actually make it look like a hand stitch as well. This is the zigzag stitch. Each one of these stitches is just perfectly aligned with the top of the fabric, and that's just you guiding it. But picking the right stitch length and the right stitch width will really make a difference. Okay, something else real quickly just to show you before my time's up. You've got this neat little compartment in the front of your, which I know Deb was showing as well. You've got all this space in here so that you can hold all your feet. And this comes with the machine, as well as a couple of other little storage things. You've got your stitch ripper here, which we all need. And you've got all sorts of wonderful feet in here. And here's the one that I was just talking to you about. This is a golden foot. I would absolutely recommend that when you're piecing, you use this 1/4 inch guide foot. You can also use a walking foot, but I would highly recommend you using this foot. This will keep you exactly at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So if you're a quilter and you haven't tried this foot, please, please, please do so. And let Blaine know what you think about it, because these are absolutely fantastic feet. Okay, so that's that simple. I'm just going to tuck that right back on the machine. I'm going to move the camera back around and say hello and goodbye, probably all at the same time. When I was talking about a stitch book, what I was talking about was actually, like, this has a little collection. You can add this into a bunch of other layers of fabric so that you can see your stitches. So if I wanted to know exactly what the stitch width, stitch length was for these, I'm going to write right on that fabric, right next to it, exactly what it is. So next time I'm doing applique, I can look at it and say, oh, that's perfect. That's a stitch width of 4.5, the length is 1.4, and so on. So that allows you to see in your hands what it is you're going to create next time. Okay. And that's a real plus when it comes to sewing, to be able to see what it is you're doing and to test. Another little tip is always, always, always test. There are those who test and those who wish they tested. Okay. So before you put your hard-earned project under that needle, grab a scrap fabric, and I'm sure you've got them right in a trash can next to you. I could pull out 50 pieces right now and run a couple of tests. And that way, if you don't have your stitch book done, you can just run a piece of scrap fabric through that and see exactly what you're going to do and not have any errors on your real project. Okay, so that is the Soprano in a nutshell. If you haven't seen the Soprano, please go to your Baby Lock dealer and have them give you a demo. I know Blaine, his people at his shops, they would absolutely show you whatever you want to see on these machines and let you test them. That's really the key there, to be able to see that and try it yourself.
Well, thanks, Melinda. We sure do appreciate you coming on this morning and showing them all about the Soprano.
Absolutely.
And again, hopefully we'll get to see you real soon, but we're going to show them how they can get it now. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Blaine. See you later.
Right. See you later. All right, guys, that was the Soprano, the Baby Lock Soprano. And again, guys, we have a call-in special on it, but you can see right there, the normal price on this is $24.99. We do have some financing available for you as well. This is that sewing quilting machine. And again, loaded with features, everyone. This thing, all the machines that we're showing you today, we're super excited to be able to share them with you and actually offer them online now and be able to ship them straight to your door nationwide. These have only been limited to the retail stores. You had to go in person. Now you can get them right to your doorstep. And again, one of the key things that, Melinda talked about was, getting the chance to sew on them and all that. When you're shopping online, you don't get a chance to sew on them. But what you really want to do is be educated about it. Know what you're looking for and try to find the best thing for you. And if you're having trouble with that, give us a call at 800-401-8151. Our team are experts. I mean, they're going to be able to help you get the right machine for your needs. And then we can share tons of videos. So if you go to smplive.tv, you see that product, the Soprano, you can click on that product. It'll take you right to the product page. We have videos on that page that talk all about the machine and things. So we're going to try to give you as much education that we can about these machines. And again, guys, we have a policy here. If you don't love it, you don't keep it. So you know what? If you get it home and it's not right for you, give us a call and we'll figure it out for you. And but guys, we're going to move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we're just going to keep this thing rolling. And guess what? We've got another Melinda coming in.
We do.
We have I don't know if is that a Baby Lock thing, guys?
I don't know.
But my good friend, you've seen her many times, everyone. We have Melinda Stevens in the house. So Melinda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Blaine. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today because we're going to show you two of my favorite machines.
I know. So we're going to get into the world of serging and sergers. And, Baby Lock has been known for years and years of having those air threader sergers, the best sergers in the world. They've got a name for themselves. And, now we're adding these two new ones, the Acclaim and the Euphoria, to the online where you can buy them. We have a huge lineup now of sergers that you can buy online. And I'm super excited for you to share all your knowledge with these. And I'll let you get going on it because I know we got a lot to cover. And if you want to do the first one, we'll do it and come back about 15 minutes and I'll tell them how they can get it. And then we'll do the second one.
Okay, that sounds great, Blaine. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, and hello, everybody. It's so good to see you guys. Yeah, I love that. All right, so I'm going to change my camera here and move to my machine. So I'm going to start out with the Acclaim. And this is probably one of my very favorite machines. I love serging. And we have several features on this machine that you are absolutely going to love. For one thing, that you can see that this machine is it's a larger machine and it gives you a much better ability to stitch. Okay. And what I mean by that is that you've just got more room. It's very easy to get your needle in because there's so much space here. And also there's an extra 2 inches between your needle and the right-hand side of the machine. So you can really get a lot of fabric in there. We have the Revolution Air needle threading, which makes threading very easy. And I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes so that you can see how easy and quickly that happens. We've got Revolution Air looper threading, so that looper threads super easy. We also have this wonderful automatic thread delivery system, and this is unique to our Baby Lock sergers. So you can set your stitch in any type of stitch. And then you just get started because the Acclaim is going to deliver a balanced stitch on any fabric with any type of thread. It just reads the thread and it reads the fabric. So that's just like a really cool engineering feat. We also have a really nice lighting. We've got 3 LED lights here, so it makes it a whole lot easier to see your stitches, okay? The differential feed, and I'll talk about that again a little bit later. This differential feed down here feeds your fabric. It's really tough. It feeds a lot of thick fabric. I've fed leather as well as very lightweight fabric. So the differential feed adjust for any fabric. You can use this machine with 4 threads, with 3 threads, with 2 threads. You can do a rolled hem. It happens very quickly, very easily. And you have this wonderful fabric support system over here. And I'm going to get the camera a little bit closer so that you can see this, so that when I decrease my knife, you can see that, and decrease the my little stitch table. And let me pull these stitches off so you can kind of see the stitch table. All right. So what happens is when I move my knife over, okay, I'm going to make it wider, and you can see not only does this knife move over, but the stitch finger moves over. And what that does is that gives you a really solid base for your serging. And that's just a great top of the line machine feature that we have. You can also, we have a vertical needle penetration. And while most machines use slanted needles that sort of push and sometimes damage your fabric, the Acclaim's needles they're set vertically, so they sew directly up and down. And what that does is it protects your fabric, and it also prevents the needle from deflecting your fabric. Okay, all right. The dial down here is also kind of fabulous. All right, and so this dial down here, what this does is enables you just with a twist of a dial to change from the standard. Let me pull this up so that you can see that a little bit better. You can move from standard stitching. All right, so I have it on standard stitching, and all you have to do is just turn that around, and then you're on rolled hem stitching. And you can see it says rolled hem, so you know exactly what you're doing. Okay. All right, so those are just some of the features, and I'll review those features as I show you some of the stitches. All right, so one of the unique stitches that this machine does as one of our top of the line machines is that it does something called the wave stitch. And this is a unique Baby Lock feature. This is what it's going to look like whenever it gets finished, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like as you're stitching. Okay, so let me get all my settings right, and let's put some fabric on here, and let's just see what that wave stitch looks like. This is a great decorative stitch to edge blankets with. The serger enables you to make a really quick and easy gift for somebody, and you can just buy some polar fleece and then go around that polar fleece with this wave stitch, and you have a lovely, quick and easy blanket. All right, so let me pull my machine back just a little bit so that I can reach my foot pedal. All right, here we go. Now get that wave stitch going. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let me make sure you can see what that stitch is doing. Okay, so you can see it forming. All right, so there's our wave stitch. All right, now if I want to get rid of these little red, I have a couple of red threads there, I can just make that a little bit more narrow. But isn't that lovely? And you can imagine what that looks like edging an entire blanket. This also does something called a flat lock wave, and I'll show you what that looks like on a handbag. And this purse that I'm showing you right here, it has stitches. All of these stitches, every single stitch on this purse is made on either the Euphoria or on the Acclaim. So these decorative stitches, you know, don't let anybody tell you that sergers can't do decorative stitches, because they absolutely can do decorative stitches. But this right here is called a flat lock wave. So whereas this is going to edge your fabric, okay, that's going to be at the edge of your fabric. This enables you to open your fabric up and just decorate a flat piece of fabric, okay? All right, now I want to show you how easy it is to move from a wave stitch to just a regular serger stitch. All right. So what I'm going to do is the only threads that I need to clip are going to be these two threads, and that's going to be my Decora threads. And I used a 12 weight Madeira Decora to make this, to make the wave stitch. And it just gives it kind of a sheen, and it's also sort of a thicker thread. Okay. So in order to get that thread out, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch the thread out. Okay. All right. So now that I've got that old thread and I don't need it anymore, I've stitched that out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my thread, and I'm going to put a high quality serger thread on my thread stand. All right. So I'm going to pull off this Madeira thread, the 12 weight thread, and I'm just going to put the regular Madeira premium serger thread on here. All right. So now I'm going to just take the thread through my antenna thread guide, down through the normal threading path. I'm using my, excuse me, I'm using my upper looper and my lower looper and my O2 needle, okay? All right, so let me pull this out as well. All right, so now this Revolution Air threading, all you have to do in order to thread your machine is you're going to give this thread, let me get down here so you can see what I'm doing. Give this thread right here a little clip, and I want you to watch it come out. All right. So I'm going to get a little clip with my scissors. I'm going to pull this thread all the way down to my thigh, raise my presser foot, put about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch in that threading port. I'm going to make sure it's not caught on anything. I'm going to touch it, and then watch this come out over here, okay? First, though, I have to put it on threading, right? And then I have to close my tubes. Now you'll be able to see it come out of this upper looper right here, okay? So here goes. There it is. That's how easy it is to thread this machine. Now let's thread the lower looper, and you thread it exactly the same way. And the Baby Lock, this particular Baby Lock machine, and actually all of our the Baby Lock sergers, you really don't have to worry about any particular order of threading. I know the machine that I had to start out with, serging many, many years ago, if you did not thread it in a particular order, then your machine, it would be just a mess. All right, so here I go with my lower looper. Same thing, put about 1 inch in, and now it's going to come out of this lower looper hole. There it is, popped right out, okay? Now I don't need to do anything once I have that thread in those lower loopers. All I have to do is change this back to serging and close my machine. And now I'm going to thread my needle thread. Okay, so let me get the camera a little bit higher so you can see. We're going to go through the O2 needle thread guide. And then I'm going to pop down here, and I'm going to go through this thread guide. Very easy. This is very much like a sewing machine. So if you know how to sew, serging is very easy. Up through here. And then I'm going to take it through here. And now we're going to get to see our Revolution Air needle threader in action. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on threading. And then you can see over here, this is the little lever. And what that does is that's going to enable me to thread my machine. Okay, so what this is a little vacuum cleaner. Okay, so if I get my thread close to the hole of that needle, and then I push to thread the needle, it just sucks it right in. Okay, so now my machine is threaded and I am ready to serge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check my my settings, okay, and I'm going to use B over here. I'm just going to set my, because I want to use a 3-thread serging stitch. And then I'm going to look over here, and I've got it on the widest stitch. I don't really need the stitch that wide. So I'm going to move it down here and give it like a 3.5 millimeter width. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to give it a 2.5. That's going to be a 2.5 millimeter stitch length. And that's just kind of my standard stitch length. I really like the 2.5 millimeters. So let's see what that looks like. And this is just our regular 3-thread overlock. All right. So here we go. See how quick that was? It took me what, maybe 3 minutes to thread that? All right, and I'm going to clip these threads. Whoops, make sure you can see that. I'll clip these top threads. I don't like to get them caught, so I'm going to clip that one too. But I wanted you to be able to see which thread did what. Okay, now one thing that I forgot to do and is that I forgot to move from my wave to my overlock, okay? And if I don't move that setting from my wave to my overlock, it does not like it very much. So let's try that stitch one more time, and you'll see how pretty it is when it actually is on the proper settings. Your quick reference threading guide is really handy because it lets you know exactly what your threading needs to be. That's so much better. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's my perfect stitches. All right, and let me get it under the light so that you can see those stitches. Okay, super easy. You can also use a 4-thread with a 4-thread. I use the 3-thread a lot because I like to do a lot of zipper insertion, and I've shown y'all that on several of our shows. So you can just go back to any of the shows and see that the zipper insertion. I love making a 10-minute bag on this serger. We don't actually have time to do the 10-minute serger right now, but I really love that. And that's something that almost a lot of people buy the serger simply so they can make that 10-minute zipped bag. And it makes a great and quick and easy gift. And for those of you who have an embroidery machine, then you can use that embroidery machine, right, to make some pretty monograms. And then you make your quick and easy bag. Super, super easy on the serger. Okay. All right. So now, let's see. I'm not sure how many minutes that was, Blaine. I'm not sure how close I am, but I can show you. I want to show you a couple of more things on this serger, but stop me if I need to stop. Okay. All right. So here goes. Go back to the 4-thread serger. All right. So now what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you these other cool stitches that the 4-thread serger does. And these are decorative stitches. Okay. So this stitch right here, let me back up a little bit, get a light on there. This stitch right here, that's a rolled tuck, okay? And there is a lace applicator foot that you can put on your machine, and you can make these really cool rolled tucks. All you do is you use a rolled hem, and you set it up for a rolled hem, and then you put the lace applicator foot on, and you make that cute roll tuck, okay? And let me show you what that lace applicator foot looks like. It's a super easy foot to get on your machine. It works very, very nicely for applying lace, but it also enables you to do all of these wonderful rolled edge stitches. It enables you to do these tucks. You can do some lovely garment sewing, some lovely heirloom garment sewing using this. And you can see what that, how that works on this machine. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any questions? I know that a lot of times when we're doing this, people have questions about what this machine will do. But okay, I don't see any questions coming up right now. So let me go over what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little second here, and let's go back to the serger. Okay. And let's spend just a few minutes showing you another really beautiful hem. Now, this is a hem that I use whenever I'm stitching, whenever I'm hemming bridesmaids dresses. Okay. Now, a great way to pay for your machine is to hem bridesmaids dresses or hem prom dresses. And this is something called the 3-thread overlock narrow hem, okay? And I'm going to use my right needle, and I'm going to put my stitch length at a 0.75 to 1.5 rolled, okay? And then what I'm going to do is put my stitch width at 3, and that's the most narrow stitch width. And then I'm going to come over here and put my stitch selector at C, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called a 3-thread overlock narrow. Now, this is not a rolled, and I'll show you the difference between the rolled and the narrow. But this works beautifully on chiffon or on any sort of very, very lightweight, gauzy dress that, as you know, can be really difficult and time-consuming to hem properly. So here we have that lovely 3-thread overlock narrow hem, and you can see that it's just as nice on the back as it is on the front because it rolls that fabric over just enough so that the raw edge doesn't show, okay? So that makes a really lovely hem. Now, as for a decorative edge, it's really nice, I think, to use your actual rolled hem. So that was the 3-thread overlock narrow. Let me show you the 3-thread overlock rolled. So in order to create the rolled hem, it's very easy. We're just going to pop our stitch selector down to D, and then we're going to move our stitch width to 0.75, same place, under rolled, okay? And then we're going to put our stitch width at about 3.5 rather than 3. Okay, so that's a very quick and easy shift on your machine. All right, so let's start right up here. And let's go give it a little twist here. Let me make sure I don't get that caught in there. Okay, so what we have right here, we have this is a narrow rolled hem, and that's a very tight. I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. That's really tight, okay? And the roll is, oops, I got a little paper in here. Okay, I forgot to pull my paper off. All right, and that's a really tight one. Now, this looks really good whenever you use that 12-weight Madeira. That really gives it a lovely, lovely finish. All right, so those are some of the specialty stitches. There's also your 3-thread flat lock seaming that you can use whenever you're creating stretchy stretch wear, athletic wear. There's a 2-thread flat lock that's a wide flat lock that you can actually thread ribbon through. And then there's also a 2-thread blanket stitch that's really pretty, and it looks like whenever you do that 2-thread blanket stitch, again, it looks like that really nice finished edge on the edge of a blanket. Okay, and then of course there's the ladder stitch. So you've got so many different stitches, and what happens is if you use this quick reference threading guide, okay, it shows you exactly how to thread your machine for every single one of those stitches, and it also is going to show you the other thing is that Baby Lock, whenever you purchase your machine, you get 30 days of free online classes that are going to show you everything that you want to know about the machine, and then some. And then, just like Blaine said, Sewing Machines Plus is so wonderful about answering any questions. If you give them a call, they're going to show you whatever it is that you need to know.
Well, thanks, Melinda. So, hey, guys, right now, if y'all could stop your chat and hold off on the chat for a second, and I'm going to put it out there. If anybody's got a question about this machine with Melinda, go ahead and put it in the chat right now, the question, and that way we don't miss it, and we can get it. So it says, Bernadette Evans is asking, how do you remove that knife?
Okay. Yeah.
doing
So
decorative stitches.
So it's so funny because you don't have to remove the knife. I'll show you how to do it. But this little lace applicator foot, what it does is it bypasses the knife, and so you can use it with your knife up. But in order to bypass the knife, and you can lock your knife in case you just don't want to cut anything off. And I rarely do that actually. But let me show you how to do that. Locking the knife is absolutely simple. All you have to do is you come over here and you're going to turn it. And then now once you turn your machine, your presser foot down, that knife is locked and it's not going to, oh, sorry, you didn't see that. All right. That knife is locked. Okay. And it's not going to cut anything off. And then to unlock the knife, all I have to do is turn it back around. Okay. And then I'm going to, you can see that knife comes up ready to cut. Okay. But like I said, on those decorative stitches, you don't actually have to block your knife. Okay. All right. Can you use elastic thread with the serger? Yes, you can. You can use elastic thread with the serger. I don't usually do that because the thread, if you already has stretch in it. So if I'm stitching on a knit, it stretches already. You don't need to use an elastic thread. Now, but you can insert elastic with the machine. So, you just put your elastic in, and we have an elastic applicator foot as well, but I don't even use the foot. I generally just put my elastic in and, pull it out just a little bit, and it goes in beautifully. What's the thickest material it can sew through? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I haven't found any material yet that it can't sew through. So I've sewn through leather. I've sewn through a very thick leather, and it stitched beautifully. You do have to use a Teflon foot with that so that it goes smoothly over it. And we do have a Teflon foot in our foot kit. The knife blade, how long does it last? The knife blade, I've never had to change my knife blade. Okay. So they must last a really long time. I've had mine for about, at this point, 3 years, I think. And I do a lot of serging and haven't had to change it yet, but it does come with a new knife blade. So you get an extra knife blade whenever you get the Acclaim. And no, the knife blade is not changed like the needle at all. In fact, you want your service technician to change your knife blade in order for it to be changed properly. So yeah, those are great questions. Thank you.
That was some great questions. It really was. So, hey, Melinda, while you're getting ready for the other serger, we're going to kind of tell everybody about how they can get this Acclaim, and then we're going to come back and talk about that Euphoria, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you so much. I'll see you in a second.
All right. So, everybody, the one that she was showing now was the Acclaim, and that is the air threader serger. Again, guys, this is going to be in that mid-pack of all their lineup of sergers. This was only available in the retail stores before. Now we can ship it nationwide and right to your doorstep, absolutely free. And you can buy it online. So the price on this is $34.99. We do have a call-in special on it today. And we do have some financing available and some things. So give us a call right now at 800-401-8151. These are in stock, ready to ship. And if you are want to see the product and read more about it, you can go to smplive.tv or SewingMachinesPlus.com. If you go to smplive.tv, you can just look up there, find that Acclaim, click on it, takes you right to the product page. If you go to SewingMachinesPlus.com, you can just type Acclaim in the search bar. It'll take you right to the product page as well. We have live chat agents standing by as well, that if you have any questions while you're on that webpage, you can ask or give us a call and place your order. Again, guys, this is the Baby Lock Acclaim Air Thread Serger. And may I tell you, I also want to remind you, if you want to talk to me, want to call into the show, you can give us a call. And that number is 760, Kennedy? 278-1440. So it's 760-278-1440. If you want to call into the show, we're going to probably take some callers here in just a little bit when Melinda gets finished. And so anyway, if you want to call in, call that number. She's putting on the screen right now, 760-278-1440. All right, let's go back to Melinda, and we're going to talk all about that Euphoria. And guys, again, this is going to be a little bit lower price point. Very great entry level into the sergers of the Baby Lock. And so let's bring Melinda back on the screen.
Okay.
All right, Melinda, are you ready?
Here we are. Here we are. We're ready. Okay. I've got
Awesome.
this. I've got the wonderful Euphoria pulled up. Now, this is a wonderful cover stitch machine. Okay. So if you look on whatever shirt you have on right now, I bet you that if you look at the hem, it's going to look something like this. It's going to have probably 2 stitches. And then if you flip it over to the back, it's going to look something like this. Okay. Now that is called a cover hem. And the reason that's called a cover hem is because it covers that raw edge. So there's your raw edge. There's the cover hem, and that's what this machine does. It's like it's a beautiful way of hemming any garment, but that's not all the cover hem machine does. Okay, but let me just show you how that works. One of the things that this machine, I'm just going to go over a few of the features of this particular cover hem machine because we have some really lovely, unique features. It has extraordinary threading, just like I was showing you on the other machine. You can see that you thread it, air threading, and I'll show you how that works in just a little bit whenever I change the threads. The needle thread is very easy to thread. It's called an extraordinary threading needle position. And what you do, all you have to do is you just pop that down and you're going to push your thread in there, pop it up, and your machine is threaded. So super easy needle threading. Now this does a chain and a cover stitch. Okay. So let me show you the difference between a chain and a cover stitch. Again, I'm going to go back to my handbag here and I'm going to show you. Let me get the light back on there. And I apologize for the light on there. That's a little bit, there we go. Okay. So this right here is a cover stitch. Okay. That's the back of the cover stitch. And then this right here is a chain stitch. Okay. And this chain stitch is very useful. I mean, you can just sew things together with that chain stitch. I really love, I'll show you a bag that I made out of leather on this machine using the chain stitch to put the bag together. So this acts like a sewing machine, only it's prettier. The stitch is very much prettier. I've used a decorative thread here. This is like a wool thread, a decoral wool thread, and a Madeira thread. That's another 12-weight thread. But dressmakers use this chain stitch, and I bet you've experienced opening a bag of dog food. And you know how you pull that single thread and the whole dog food bag opens or cat food bag opens? That's what this does. So you can very easily baste your article together, and many dressmakers do this. And then if the seams are not right, you just pull it out with that one thread and it just takes out all of your threads immediately. You don't have to use your seam ripper. The threads come out easily. So that's nice. So, but also what that tells you is that you always want to anchor the ends of your thread. Then this thread, this cover hem right here, you can use this right here is a 2 needle cover hem, but there's also a 3 thread wide cover hem that you can use that actually uses 3 needle threads, and it's a little bit wider than that. And that's kind of nice if you're stitching on some thick fabric. All right. So those are just a couple of things. You can see that, the difference. Here's another sample that has, lovely, whenever you use that decorative thread and you use the cover hem, that's really pretty. Another, the chain stitch and the chain stitch. So you can do so much. And again, this is that flat lock done on the Acclaim. Okay. So let me show you how that cover hem works. So when you're hemming a garment, what you're going to do is you're going to, turn your hem up, right? But you don't have to finish the edge of that hem because your cover hem is going to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide this under your machine. And we have 2 ways of doing this, okay? So the first way of doing that is we're going to do it by feel. We're going to feel what our, let me give me just a second here. We're going to feel our hem. Okay, right here. So I can feel that with my fingers. And so on the foot, and you can see on the foot of this machine that it has 3 lines. Those are your needle thread lines or your needle lines. That's exactly where your needle is going to go into the fabric. So what you want to do whenever you're stitching a hem is you want to, on a woven, you want to get one needle on one side, that is the side that only has one layer of fabric, and then one needle on the other side. And you can see that a little bit better if I show you this example. So you see on this sample, you see how this side of the stitch is actually on the double side of fabric, and then this side is actually on that single side of fabric, okay? And what that does is that covers up the raw edge of the fabric. So here we go. So I'm going to just feel the fabric. Now, some of you are not going to feel brave, and you're not going to want to do it quite like this. Okay, sorry, got the camera in between myself and the fabric. So let me try that again. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm looking to make sure that the edge of my fabric goes in between those two needles, and I'm going to stitch. I'm not sure I did a great job there, so let's turn it over and see. Okay. Okay, yeah, I did. I just got a lot of thread underneath there. But yeah, I caught see how I caught the raw edge of my fabric underneath that? It makes a really pretty stitch beneath that, okay? So that's what that looks like. Now, if you're doing a decorative stitch, then what you're going to do, instead of sewing on the right side of the fabric, you're going to actually sew on the wrong side of the fabric, all right? So let's give this a little clip, and then let's stitch on the wrong side of the fabric so that you can see what it ends up looking like on the right side of the fabric. Okay, and this is kind of fun. We also have some other feet for this. We have some feet that it's called a curving foot, and what that is a little bit shorter of a foot, and it enables us to stitch curves. Okay, so let me show you how that looks. And we have a whole bunch of feet for this machine. It makes it so easy and so much fun to stitch with. All right, so here we go. Lower my presser foot, and then I'm going to take a piece of fabric, and I'm going to stitch some curves on my fabric. Okay, now remember, just pretend like I'm stitching on the wrong side of my fabric, so that on the right side of my fabric, my curves show. I got a little, my thread caught there, my thread tail got caught, so let me clip my thread tail so I don't get, that doesn't get in the way anymore. Okay, so there's the wrong side of my fabric, and you can see I've made a little curve on there, and it's really fun to play around with that. You can see on this bag, the front of this bag, and I haven't quite finished the front of this bag yet, but you can see that I was playing around with that curving foot and doing some curves on there. Another one of my favorite things to do on this machine is to use something called the belt loop binder, okay? And the belt loop binder is simply an attachment that enables you to make something called belt loops, okay? But actually what I use it for is for bag handles. So let me show you what those bag handles end up looking like. Okay, I got a little tangle over there. So let me fill that. Okay, so here is a bag handle made with that belt loop binder. Okay, let me get it in the light so you can see it. See how lovely it is? And on the back, that's the. So you just you cut your fabric to a 1 5 inches, and then this is actually an ultra suede, and I use my Teflon foot to make the bag handle with this ultra suede. And so you put it through your belt loop binder, and it just stitches out for you just like that. And you end up with some really lovely bag handles. Okay, I apologize for the light here. I'm having a little trouble with my light here, but you can see how that turns out really nice. And then again, here it is. Here's the stitches. All of those stitches are done. All of these are done on the cover hem. And all I did is I just used different colors of 12 weight thread, and that's a Burma Lana thread that has wool in it, and I just played with that, and then I put all those in, all the zippers in. But let me show you, this is kind of a fun bag, so let me show you this. This is a leather bag that I made on the Euphoria, and I mean, it sews leather absolutely beautifully. Okay, so you can see how neatly it stitches. And you can see that I put the zipper in, I stitched the bag together It's a lined bag. So this machine, it will sew on leather. It sews on anything, and it's a very heavy duty machine. So I've made quilts on this machine. I've done children's clothing on the machine. There's really not much that you can't do on the machine. So let me talk just a little bit about the features on the machine. It also has the 3 LED lights. It's got this throat space. Okay, so see how wide this is? This gives you a great deal of space. It's actually 5 inches from the side of the needle to the inside of the machine, and that enables you to do quilts. That's what makes doing quilts so easy. It also has a knee lift. Now, I'm not going to show you the knee lift because it's too hard to show on camera, and I apologize for that. But you can raise the presser foot by simply moving that attachable lever with your knee. And what that does is it enables you to use both of your hands whenever you're quilting. Your adjustable presser foot height, it goes all the way up 6 millimeters. Okay. So again, that gives you so much room underneath that foot to actually put a quilt. This machine also has the automatic thread delivery, and it gives you a balanced stitch on any type of fabric. Has your chain and cover looper tension system is super easy to navigate. It's right here. And so that's your chain looper tension, and then your cover hem tension is automatic. The needle tension is automatic. One of the things, and this is the last thing I'll say right now because I know we're kind of running out of time. It too has the vertical needle penetration. It has the same kind of let me get you down here so that you can see that. So you can change your stitch length super easily down there underneath the machine. But one of the things that this machine does that other cover hem machines do not do is it allows you to chain off. And that is after you finish stitching, you can keep chaining the stitch just like a sewing machine. And I'll show you. And it allows you to do that without messing up. It will not mess up your tension. It won't mess up your tension, and it won't mess up your threading. So that's a really, really wonderful thing. Also, this machine will not begin stitching until the machine is closed and your presser foot is down, so you don't mess up any of your stitches, like happens, I think, sometimes whenever you're stitching on some of the sergers and you start trying to stitch and you've forgotten to put your presser foot down, and then the machine is not going to stitch properly for you, and it messes up whatever fabric you have. So those are the main features of the Euphoria. So let me just check and see if we have any questions at this point. Blaine, did anybody have any questions? Because I know this is a machine that people don't really know that much about, and they do tend to have more questions about it.
So Melinda, I've got a question, and if you would try to explain to everybody the difference between just a serger and then a serger cover stitch.
Okay. All right. So a serger, it's almost like a cover hem machine acts very much like a sewing machine. Okay. So you can, it's not going to cut anything off. You're going to stitch, and it's not going to cut your fabric off. And it's going to give you these stitches on one side, that stitch on the other side. A serger actually cuts off your fabric as you stitch, and it finishes the edge of your fabric instead of the top and underneath your fabric. Okay, so let me just show you the difference in a serger stitch and a cover hem stitch. Okay, so I'm going to put this on top of here and change my camera so that you can compare the two stitches. All right, give me just a second here. Let me change the settings. All right, here we go. All right, so right here. Okay, so right here you can see this is a serger stitch. Okay, and if you look again, if you happen to have a t-shirt on and you look at the inside of your t-shirt, the seams are probably seamed, that is stitched together with the serger. And so what happens is when you put those two together and you stitch them together, okay, the serger finishes and stitches together at the same time. So you can imagine this as a pants leg. You can imagine this as the inside of a shirt, and you've stitched both sides together with that one single stitch. the cover hem machine was initially designed for hems and simply to finish a hem. Okay. And it was initially designed so that you could cover the raw edge of a hem with that cover hem stitch. You do flat sewing using a cover hem. Okay. And so you're going to put this on your machine. It's going to be flat and you're going to stitch it and it's not going to cut anything off, and it'll stitch on one side and then it'll make this chain stitch on the other side. Okay. Does that help? Any questions? Does that, I hope that helps. Honestly, I think the easiest way to tell is to look inside of your t-shirt. Okay. If you've got a t-shirt on, you just lift that t-shirt up, you look at those side seams, and those side seams are going to be stitched. Okay. And I can show you on mine if you want me to.
No, I think Melinda, that was a very good explanation, and I'm so happy that you told us about that, because that's a question we get a lot. People, they're getting into, they want to get a serger, and they want to know, well, this serger does this. Why is this one just a little bit more money? And it's because a lot of times when they have the combos,
Right.
and you can do so much more with it. So that's why you're going to find a little bit more. But we got a great price on this one today, and again, Melinda, thank you so much for coming on our show. It's a pleasure every time you come on. We sure do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Blaine. It's so good to see you. I so appreciate your inviting me on the show. You guys have a great time and enjoy serging.
All right. We'll see you later. All right. So this, again, this is the Euphoria. This is the first time we've ever been able to sell it online. We can ship this nationwide. And again, guys, we have a fantastic price on it. It's $19.99. And again, you're going to get a serger, and you're going to get that overlock, machine as well on it, so you can do multiple things with it. So that's what's so good. And Melinda did a great job explaining the difference between those. And again, guys, we do have a call-in special on this. Give us a call right now at 800-401-8151. If you want to look at this and read a little bit more about it, go to smplive.tv right now. You'll see at the very top, when you get to that product page, you'll see all the different products we talked about today. You can click on the Euphoria. It'll take you to the product page. You can read all about the machine. And we have live chat agents standing by on there as well that can answer questions for you. Again, if you want to give us a call, Nick's team is standing by. It's 800-401-8151. And we have a great special on this today. And again, we're going to ship it nationwide free for you. And I think he even might have some financing available on this machine as well. So there is some great machines so far from Baby Lock. I'm going to talk about two more machines before we get off the air today. Two quilting machines. One of them's pretty new that we're going to talk about and tell you a little bit about those. But before we do that, we're going to actually take some calls. I promise y'all, we have a call-in show now. You can call in and talk to me, and we're going to give you a call. So the first person we're going to call is Joe Allen. We're going to give you a call, so make sure you answer your phone. She goes by Wolfgeist on the chat. So, Joe Allen, we're going to give you a call, so make sure you answer. It's going to be a 760 number, the number you called. That'll be on your caller ID. So, Kennedy, let's get that phone ringing.
Let's do it.
All right, it is ringing.
Hello.
Hey, Joe Allen.
Hi, Blaine. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm watching the show, and it's getting me pumped up, so I've got some crafts going on back in my craft room.
Well, you know what? It is so much fun to do this, and I'm so happy I know you've been a long time watcher of us, and and you're down in Florida, right?
No,
Nebraska.
I'm actually in Nebraska.
Nebraska, that's right, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I know we see your name on there all the time. So tell me, what's your kind of brand of machine that you kind of tend to lean toward?
Well, let me tell you. You asked other people. I'll try to give you a quick intro here. I used to dabble in sewing. My mom kind of taught me the basics way back. So I had a sewing machine, ended up with a brother. When I moved out here to Nebraska, it kind of got banged up. And so I was looking to replace it. And of course, with my snake hobby, I'd go, and that seemed to be a niche that there wasn't enough stuff. So I started looking into maybe doing some embroidery. So I ended up at my Walmart, and I bought the Brother, the SC625. And right away I realized that this little 4-inch hoop is not big enough. And around the same time, I'm looking on YouTube and stuff, and I ran across Carly Bell. And I happened to catch one of her snip and stitches live, and it was such a great welcoming group. And that bag just blew. She was doing an in the hoop bag that night. It blew me away because I can't stitch a straight seam to save my life. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this opened up a whole new world for me. So I started researching machines, and I wanted just a regular, embroidery machine. And I ended up, somebody in the group had a Pathfinder, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So I ended up going through SMP, getting my Pathfinder, and I love it. I've had her like over a year, maybe 2 years now. I can't remember, but I kind of wish I had done the free arm multi-needle route instead, because everybody wants caps.
Yeah.
But no, I exclusively buy from SMP now. I wanted to get a heavy dutier machine to do like the purse pal wallets and stuff. So I ended up talking to the ladies there on the chat and ended up with a Janome HD 1000, I believe. And so I have, and then of course I won that Encore. You guys are so wonderful and so generous. I'm actually using that for my sewing at the moment. And I love, because I'm doing these stuffed snakes. You saw the one I made for Kennedy. It does the curves so wonderful. I just love it. And I love SMP. And like I was telling everybody on the chat before the show, the venture's not yet available to buy online, but when the time comes, that's what I want. That's what I want next. And when the time comes, if I have to, I'm going to fly out there and visit you all and buy it out there.
We would love to have you. I tell you what, and we invite anybody, if you're ever out in the Southern California area, you got to make sure you plan to stop by and see us. And, you let us know ahead of time. We'll roll out the red carpet and come meet you at the store. But we have, 2 stores, one in San Diego. It's real close to the airport. Then we have one in San Marcos. It's about 35 miles north of the airport. So we would love to have you out here. And hey, so do you have any questions about any of the machines that you saw today?
Well, I tell you, a Serger's on my list too, because I kind of want to start getting into making my own clothes. And let me tell you, I don't quilt, but everything you guys show, and I say a lot of the ladies and even some of the gentlemen will probably agree with me, that these shows, even if it's not geared towards you, like something you do, like quilting, there's always something to learn. And so I try not to miss any of them. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards a Serger also down the line. But yeah, you guys, you're just so generous, so awe-inspiring. I love you all so much.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. And we sure do appreciate you being part of the SMP Nation. And hey, we're going to continue to give you, new content as often as we can. And we thank you for watching. And you have yourself a great rest of the day and a great weekend, okay?
Thanks, Blaine. You as well. And I love my SMP Nation and all the friends I've made there, too.
That's awesome. All right, guys, that was
All
Joe
right.
Allen from Nebraska.
Bye, Joe.
So we'll see you later. All right, we got one more call we're going to make, and who we calling next, Kennedy?
Julie Harlow.
Julie Harlow. We're going to call you, Julie. We have time for one more call. So, Julie, make sure you answer your phone. So let's give her a call right now, Kennedy.
Pick up your phone.
Julie, it's a 760 number. Make sure you pick up. Oh,
Hello?
Julie.
I think you called. Are you calling off of SMP?
Yes, this is Blaine.
Thinking you're calling Julie?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Blaine. This is Larry. You didn't get Julie, but you got Larry.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't. It's something. I don't know what happened over there. So who's this, Lorraine?
This is Larry Scott from Wyoming.
Hey, Lorraine, how are you?
Well, actually Larry, not Lorraine.
Oh, Larry.
But I'm doing great, and I love watching your show. I love my scan and cut I got. I used to shop from you guys long before you ever started these YouTubes and Facebook. So I'm a longtime customer, and I really like your products.
So let me make sure I got your name. It's Larry.
Larry, Lauree.
Okay,
Yeah,
Larry.
I think
Awesome.
the wires got crossed somewhere, and you called me instead of the one that was wanting you to call her. But I am glad that you called me. That's great.
Well, we have a lot of people calling in, so I don't know what happened, but they get numbers, but hey, we're so happy that you answered. And again, hey, thank you for watching the show. So tell me, I ask this to everybody that comes on, what's your kind of go-to brand machine that you have, and tell us a few machines that you have in your sewing room.
Well, I have 2 baby locks in this sewing room, a Bernina out in the other room, and a Bernina Serger, which is a very basic serger that I make all my projects for church. I do the baptismal garments for church, and I serged the edges on that, but it's just very basic. It doesn't do any of the fancy stitching like the Acclaim does. That would be awesome to have the wave stitch. I have FOF in my older machines are FOFs. 20 years ago when I first bought an embroidery machine with a FOF.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of brands that you're covering there. And again, so how long have you been an SMP customer, you said?
Oh, I bet 30 years, because I bought stuff for my ironing board long time ago. I bought my ironing board, my reliable ironing board, at a dealer here, and that's actually in Rapid City, South Dakota. That's they come over for the quilt show, and I've replaced the cover a couple times in the last so many years. And I got those from SMP, and I've bought stuff from you for years before I ever knew this existed on YouTube.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we sure do appreciate you being part of the SMP Nation and shopping with us. And again, I tell everybody, we give you support for life. So anything that you ever buy from us, if you ever have questions, you can always give us a call. We'll always support the machine and see if we can help you out with it. And we sure do appreciate you being part of our show today. And thank you for watching.
Well, thank you. I sure do love my new scan and cut I just got from you guys.
Awesome.
Just a couple months ago. It's awesome.
That is great. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so there was a couple, the SMP Nation. Guys, again, that's all the calls we're gonna have time to call today. I'm sorry if we don't get you called. But, again, come back next Thursday. We'll eventually get, to try to talk to everybody. But just keep trying, and we'll eventually get to you. So, again, guys, we've got 2 more machines I'm going to talk about very quickly, and then we're going to get to our giveaways. But, guys, another 2 more machines that Baby Like is releasing for us to sell online are quilting machines. Now, one of those is the Cornet. Now, the Cornet is a 16-inch long arm. It's the 16-inch long arm, and it's going to come with that 5-foot frame. So it comes with that 5-foot frame. And again, guys, the price on this is $62.95. We do have a call-in special for this as well. And guys, let me just tell you a little bit about this Cornet. Now, this thing, it is, great. It's got a great lighted workspace with the LED lights. Like I said, it has that 16-inch workspace. It's also going to be 8 1/4 inches tall. So it gives you a lot of room if you want to roll a quilt up under that and have room. It has the LCD display right on the handlebars. It has that built-in stitch regulation. It takes that large M-class bobbins And the maximum sewing speed on this is 1,800 stitches per minute. So it's extremely fast. So again, guys, this is a Baby Lock cornet. This is the machine that, that you could buy in the store. Now we can sell it online and support you. And it comes with that Baby Lock 5-foot cornet frame with it. And it's all for $62.95. $74.95 is the regular price. $62.95. And we do have a call-in special for it today. So give us a call at 800-401-8151. Guys, our group out there are the best. They're in the business when it comes to quilting machines. Our staff is more knowledgeable. We sell more quilting machines than anybody in the nation. So they know these machines extremely well. So if you do have questions, give us a call at 800-401-8151. We have some financing available. We will ship it free nationwide right to your doorstep. And then if you're on the website, go to smplive.tv. You can scroll over there until you see the cornet. Click on it, takes you to the product page. We'll also have live chat agents on that page that can answer questions for you. And you can read all the features and things about it. All right, the next machine that we're going to show you is the Regalia ST. Now, guys, this is a 20-inch machine. This is the sit-down version. And again, it's $74.99. And you have two choices here. So we have two different tables that are available. This is the standard table that we're talking about right now. And that standard table is $74.99. We also have a brand new electric lift table that now it's height adjustable that the machine fits on, and it's $84.99. So if you want to go to the electric table, it's a $1,000 upgrade. But again, guys, this is $74.99 for the Regalia with the standard table. This is the 20-inch free motion sit down. And again, guys, we have this. This is a brand new release for Baby Lock. We're going to be able to sell it online, ship it right to your doorstep. We have financing available as well, and we can tell you all about it if you're interested in either one of these quilting machines. Great offering from Baby Lock today, and we're so happy that we can sell this and ship this nationwide to you right to your doorstep. And we have some financing available. So again, you can go to smplive.tv, and up on the top, you'll be able to see all the products we talked about today. Find your product. You can just click on it. It takes you to the product page. We have live chat agents standing by on those pages that can talk to you as well. And then if you just want to call and talk to one of our call center team members, it's 800-401-8151. That's Nick's teams over there. They're all on the phones, and they can take your order to answer your questions. So a lot of products today, Kyle.
Woo!
Kennedy. A lot of products we talked about.
We did it.
8 products. We got through them. So, guys, real quick, we're going to get through some giveaways for it because we know this has been an extremely long show today. But the Baby Lock Showcase, we had to talk about those machines and kind of introduce you to them. And, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the giveaways right now. So the first thing we're going to give away is a set of our event bags. And these event bags, there's 8 different colors. They sell for $49.99 on our website for the set. Or you can get them for individually for $9.99. We're going to give 2 people a set of bags. So Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Woo! Okay.
Did we lose our spinning music?
No, it's going.
Okay. I don't hear it.
Turn it a little bit more.
There's our winner, Alice Peterson. So congratulations, Alice. She is watching today from YouTube. So Alice, what we need you to do is go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of that page where it says claim my prize. Click on that and fill out all the information completely, hit submit, and we'll handle it from there. All right, Kennedy, let's get us another winner. So spin that wheel.
I went a little early this time.
Oh, Michelle Kelly says spin time.
Oh, yes.
It is spin time.
Sylvia,
Carol Embroidery says spin that wheel.
Sylvia Cortez.
Our winner, Sylvia Cortez, watching from YouTube today as well. So Sylvia, you just won yourself a set of bags. Go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of that page where you see claim a prize, fill out the information, hit submit, and we'll handle it from there. All right. We have Bernadette Evans. Kennedy, spin that wheel.
I will for these.
All right. So we're going to give away some snow mats. Guys, we got 12 different colors to choose from. We're going to let you pick your size. We have 4 different sizes, 12 different colors. We're going to let you pick the one you want. So Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Woo. Okay.
Sue Smith. Sue Smith is watching today from YouTube as well. So congratulations, Sue. You just won yourself a sewing mat. And again, go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of that page. Just tell us all the information, fill it out complete, and most importantly, tell us what color of sew mat you want and what size, and we'll get that sent out to you. All right, so we're going to give one more of these away, and Kennedy Mae Simmons said, Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Bam.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're going to give our second sew mat away. And I always say, if you don't have a sew mat out there, you're doing your machines a disservice. Go get you one. A Mary Ann Fox from Facebook is our
Ooh,
winner.
love your picture.
So Mary Ann, congratulations. And Mary Ann, go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of that page till it says claim my prize. Fill out all that information completely. And most importantly, make sure you tell us what size of sewing mat you want and what color. And we'll get that right out to you. All right, next up, we are going to give a $100 gift card away. Right there it is. And we have Lisa is telling Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Okay, Lisa.
All right, Lisa, we're going to spin the wheel.
Let's see what if she wins.
We're going to see who wins
fun.
this $100 gift card from SMP. Sandra Shaw.
Xandra Shaw.
Zandra, we know Zandra. Zandra Shaw, congratulations. So Zandra, you are watching today from YouTube. So Zandra, go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of that page, fill out all the information, and as soon as we receive your information, we will send you a gift card code through your email, and then you can use it at checkout. So how's that? That's awesome, isn't it?
That's awesome.
All right, and for our grand prize today, guys, you heard who was talking about the Joe Allen was talking about having the encore?
Yes.
Joe Allen was talking about having an encore and how she loved it. Guys, this is a great machine. We're giving one of these away today. This is the Encore 260A, and Kim N says, spin that wheel, Kennedy.
Okay.
All right, let's see who's going to win this sewing machine today. Chris C. So congratulations, Chris C. Chris is watching today from YouTube. So Chris, you just won yourself a Encore 268 sewing machine. So congratulations. Go to smplive.tv to redeem your prize. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim your prize. Fill out all the information complete, hit submit, and as soon as we get that, we will send it right out to you, ship it right to your doorstep. There we go. Great encore, love the stitches. That was Denise. So thank you, Denise. And so a lot of great comments today, guys. We had a big show today. I mean, it was so, I think there was way over 300 people watching today. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being part of the SMP Nation. And Bernadette's giving a bunch of hearts. Kim Wolf says, has a great day, SMP Nation. So love y'all's chats, love your comments. And we hope that you enjoyed the show. We know it was kind of a fast pace today, but we had so many products to cover. And we wanted to introduce everybody to these brand new machines for online. Because if you haven't been in the store lately, you may not knew they existed, but now they're on our webpage. We can ship them nationwide. So we hope that you enjoy that. All right, so everybody, make sure you lock in the date next Thursday. I want everybody here. Invite your friends. I want a big crowd to come next week because it's Fabric Palooza time, and we are going to have a lot of fun showing a lot of fabric, over 80 different fabrics that we're going to be showing, and they're going to be in 1 yard, 3 yard increments where you can buy them in either size, and it's going to be a fast-paced day too. We're going to have all kinds of overhead cameras. There's no telling what I'm going to give away next week either. You just never know. So maybe some surprises, maybe some cool stuff next week. You never know. So Zena W says SMP is awesome. Thank you, Zena. Appreciate that. So guys, we are going to get out of here. We sure do appreciate y'all joining in. And again, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And y'all be here next Tuesday. Kennedy has her Takeover Tuesday show next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Central. And then Thursday, it's me and Fabric Palooza, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central. Hope to see y'all there. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye.